This man works in a pickle factory. His job is to drive the mouse away with a hammer. Each time he beat to death 10, he can get $5. Faced with the attack of the rats, he stepped back. The result is at this moment, suddenly the pickles factory was sealed. As expected, no one noticed him falling inside. This man is getting salt here with the cucumbers. Do you think he'll die in there? Time goes by, the years change. 100 years passed. These two naughty kids are playing in a drone when they're stuck here. They curiously open the lid of the pickle barrel. This man has been salted for 100 years and yet miraculously regains consciousness, still retaining the look of the deer. Face a reporter's question. Scientists explain something, but this man seemed unhappy. The world before his eyes spoke extremely strange. The wife he loved died 80 years ago. In the end, he couldn't control his emotions. Fortunately, he received good news. They have investigated a relative of him who is still alive. That person is his nephew. But now he is the same age as him. They quickly met. They agitated to embrace each other. They are the only relatives in this world. He came to this strange age. See the building in front of it. Transport. Everything here is weird in his eyes. Facing a taxi he never knew. He raised his fist in anticipation. The nephew took him back to his home. Let him get acquainted with modern equipment. When seeing the water purifier can drink it immediately, he was amazed. At his age, it was a luxury. Then the nephew continued to lead him to walk around. He eats that he has never eaten. Meet a scooter that he has never seen. He wondered about his grandchild's career. He introduced him to his work, the app that he made himself. This is an invention that he has been working on for 5 years. The function of the app just needs to scan the product code. Can get reviews of it. Good, bad comments can be seen. When he saw the photo on the wall, he asked why there wasn't a family photo. The nephew took out an album, introduced his family members. Except for his wife, he did not know anyone. Now he wanted to go to his wife's grave to say goodbye to her. At that point, everything in front of him surprised him. Around the grave is full of grass. This has turned into trash disposal. There is also a billboard blocking. Right now, something filthy falls on the grave of the deceased wife. He rushed to clean it. On the face appeared tears. They in front of the grave said goodbye to the deceased. Right now there is a car about to break the billboard. How can he stand it? 1 versus 5 beat them to the ground. But as a result of this, they were locked in prison by the police. Finally released, and when they got home, the two quarreled fiercely. He said that his grandchildren do not defend the family ancestors story. Makes him extremely angry and leaves. Because he wanted to prove himself, he decided to work as pickles. The simplest method can create the best taste. But a person without money like him cannot inherently afford cucumbers at the supermarket. Can only run to trash to search. He successfully found 2 bags of cucumbers in the trash. And discarded parts. Successfully make a small street vendor car. He picked up old pots and discarded them. Rinse and start making pickles. He put the salt and cucumber in the jar, watching the sky to wait until the rain. His work will certainly be a success. God does not betray people. The pickles that he made everyone love. Very quickly got popular on the internet. Even the television station also came to interview. Unexpectedly when the nephew heard the news. Because of him, he has been detained. He even cursed that his app could not be sold. Before the camera provoked him, he lags behind the stupidest. Of course, he could not stand it. He called the food safety department to denounce him. The cleaning staff quickly reached the place. Wanted him to stop the business. Still want to confiscate his cucumbers. They also forced him to pay a fine. People began to scorn and disparage his pickles. After seeing that the nephew smiled happily, 2 old visitors came to him. Give him a few options. Let the trainees come to work together. These trainees do not need a salary. Just get work experience. For him, this is extremely beneficial. Under his enthusiastic guidance, pickles can become a high-end product. The pickles were once again sold to the market. All the trainees actively ran to the main street to sell. He was once again recognized. Now he has made all the money he needs. He drafted a billboard in front of his wife's grave. In his heart, the excitement does not stop. But when the grandchildren see it online, it's all about the pickles of their grandfather. There are even investors looking for. He was even more annoyed. After success, he turned to find his nephew. Because of jealousy with his grandfather, he introduced him to Twitter, started leading him to speak at random. Knowing he had been deceived, he was extremely angry. Faced with a sinister smile, this time he would definitely be able to handle him. He found an assistant to help him speak. The assistant feels a little nervous. The next morning, after waking up, he suddenly became famous. Regarding his statement, the reporter reached out. The whole world debates right or wrong. Unexpectedly, he became more and more popular. At an interview, the nephew pretended to be the audience to ask him difficult questions. He knew for sure he would answer this question terribly. After finishing answering, as expected, he was scorned by the whole country. The people even went to protest, even asked to give up his status, cancel his identity. He broke the glass door, running to the house of his nephew begging him to take him to his home country of Canada. They sneaked across the border, then came a step. Carefully, nephew was injured, but he took care of his nephew wholeheartedly. Night comes, when it snows. They hug each other. Everything on the way makes the grandson get his fault. He admitted the wrong things he did. Hearing that, the grandfather was extremely angry. Punched for the nephew one shot. He changed his nephew's clothes, then shaved it off. The nephew was fainted by the police. They thought it was his grandfather. Then take him to the throne, where he used to live. He returned home where his nephew is staying. Open the album. A picture falls. Now he knew he was wrong. In fact, he is also for the glory of the family, but does not stop striving. When the nephew went to the old house, everything is so strange. He regretted what he did. After all, he is also a relative of mine. Right now, the grandfather also saw. Say everything in his heart. He feels proud of his grandchildren. In the end, they decided to make Pickle so popular.